Hi, everyone. This is Carolyn Speaks, Instead of a World, on Saturday, May 21st, 2022. So, what is it? Good, better, and different? All three. Okay. Now, the coronavirus is out there. Hospitalizations are going up, more cases, and people are still dying from this virus. We've had 1 million fatalities in this country alone, and about 15 million worldwide. And so, we really have to take care. Take care of yourself and others because this virus doesn't know anything about borders, nationality, race, gender, anything. It'll, if it wants to get to you, it will if you don't take the right precautions. Now, one thing that people have been talking about a lot and state legislatures have been passing legislation about is critical race theory. They don't want students or anyone to learn the true history of our country. They don't want to discuss racism. They want everyone to just kind of live in a bubble. They want you to not notice any differences. Uh, there's no racism. Um, Non white people are just fine. They don't have any complaints. No need to talk about racism. No need to talk about the history of racism in this country where we had real slavery brought by the colonialists, the conquistadors, the explorers from Europe, and uh, spread it. They try to wipe out the Native Americans, try to commit genocide against them. They gave them blankets infected with smallpox. They gave them liquor, which they didn't know how to use or how to handle. And they did the same thing to the indigenous peoples of Australia and New Zealand. The goal was to get the land of the indigenous peoples of the Americas, Australia, and New Zealand. The British colonized Australia and New Zealand. They're very brutal to the Aborigines in Australia and to the Maoris in New Zealand. Also, there are parts of Europe where the indigenous populations have been attacked. So um, it's very sad. But indigenous peoples, they're there. Whether you're in Asia or Africa, the Middle East, Latin America, Europe, they're there. And you can't erase them. They're there. And the goal should be for everybody to work together, to dialogue together, and to be aware of each other, and to work together, and to learn each other's history, and not try to erase anyone's history. So this has been going on for quite a while, and we had slavery in this country. We had the end of slavery came with the Civil War, but then we got the Jim Crow laws, which the white people felt in the South felt they needed to protect themselves, and we still have racism in this country. So we really have to end that. We have to discuss that. And when if you and we, they're saying they don't want white students to learn about racism because they don't want them to feel bad. Well, race is very visible. You can definitely see if someone doesn't look exactly like you. Also, so there shouldn't be a law against discussing racism and the racism history of this country. Same thing in Israel. Now, Israel, in the population of Israel, they're Arabs, and then the Hebrews they wanted, and also Hebrews there. But after World War II and Hitler's attempted genocide of the Hebrew people, the Hebrew people decided they wanted to go back to what they said was their um, native land, the the Holy Land, and they decided they want to go back to Israel and claim it for themselves and throw out the ones who were there. So right now we have the West Bank, which is occupied by the Palestinians. We have Gaza occupied by the Palestinians under very brutal conditions, and Israel has these checkpoints, and they have these security systems. You have to have an internal passport to go anywhere, and you could be stopped at anywhere at any time. And if they don't like something you said, they can kill you. Recently had a Palestinian American woman journalist who was killed when she was um, working on a story about a military raid in Jenin, which is a Palestinian um, camp, refugee camp. So anyway, and they're not going to hold whoever killed this journalist accountable. They hold all the power now, and they did build a wall, try to separate the West Bank from Israel proper, trying to get the Palestinians living in East Jerusalem out. Um, that's what they're doing. And Trump here was trying to build a wall separating us from Mexico. But he wasn't trying to build a wall with a border with Canada. That's strange. So I don't know. Everyone is welcome. Everyone in our country, in the U.S., is an immigrant or the descendant of an immigrant. I am a descendant of Hungarian Americans who came here as immigrants. So I'm a first generation Hungarian American. And I'm proud of that. But for some reason, white people in the U.S. don't want any immigrants unless they're white and Christian. So that is a problem because I am not Christian. So anyway, we really have to discuss these things. There are different religions, different races, different nationalities, and we'll have to learn about each other. If you prevent students from learning about them in the classroom and ban books from the schools and the school libraries and the community libraries, well, there is the internet. Now the universities in the states where they're banning books that tell people about race. Are those universities, colleges, universities, are they being banned there as well? And there's always the internet. Everything's on the internet. Now, so the internet has a lot of information. So, and then they'd also want to ban talking about LGBTQ, which is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, Q people. But they exist. Everyone is born. No one controls the person they are. You were born a certain way. Whether you are a girl and you like boys, or you're a girl and you like girls, whether you're a boy and you like girls, or you're a boy and you like boys. Anyway, that's the way you are. That's how you were born. You can't change that. So, okay, so we really need to talk about these things. Okay, now, how about a little music? Okay, the song I like to sing today is close the door, light the lights, we're staying home tonight, far away from the bustle and the bright city lights. Let them all fade away, just leave us alone, and we'll live in a world of our own. We'll build a world of our own that no one else can share. Our troubles will leave far behind us there. And I know we will find such peace of mind when we live in a world of our own. Okay, that the World of Our Own was written by Tom Springfield of Springfield's folk group. Um, and it's included his sister Dusty Springfield, who went on to become an international singing star. And the song was recorded by his sister Dusty and also by the Seekers. Okay, thank you for joining us this evening of Saturday, May 21st, 2022, for another meeting of Caroline Speaks State of World. I'll be back again tomorrow In the meantime, stay safe, take care of yourself and others, wear a mask, practice social distancing. When the vaccine is available for you and safe for you to take it, I would take it. And mine, May 27th, the Johnson & Johnson one shot, and I'm looking around for a booster. Okay. Remember, take care of yourself and others. And remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.